Hey, what's up, everyone? Been meaning to make a video on this subject for a very long time now. So here we go. The biggest relationship killer currently in our time and age happening right now. I see this so frequently. It's one of the biggest main reasons for people breaking up, and it is insecurity with men, with women, both equally as insecure. And there's no surprise, really, if you stay tuned and watch this video. I'm going to explain why it's not surprising. At the end of the day, insecurity comes from when you are not confident, happy, comfortable with your own life, when you are lacking that wholeness, when you're lacking that self-love, that self-focus, when you start to see your partner as your source of happiness and strength, power, stability, then you're setting yourself up for insecurity. Now, people might argue that men are more insecure than ever. Okay, I think that is probably a trend that is due to insecurity that exists within women and men. Okay, we're both as insecure as each other, okay? But our roles over the last 20, 30, even 10 years have started to change. 40, 50 years ago, women had much less power than they do today. Women have so much more freedom than they did 40, 50 years ago. So women are much more empowered today than they have ever been. And relationships are no longer the man and the woman. Yes, of course, that still exists in a lot of ways. And it still exists in the old traditional way of the man first, woman second, in a lot of countries and a lot of places all around the world. But in more developed modern societies in the West, it's becoming, it's been more equal now for a while. And this is a huge topic, and I'm going to try to stick to the points that I believe are the most important. But there's no surprise that insecurity is the biggest killer in relationships right now, because when we invest too much of our happiness and security and our confidence and our power and our strength, when we invest too much of it in and depend on someone else as our source of wholeness and happiness, insecurity is bound to creep up and develop. It's absolutely going to be natural that it's going to happen. So blaming our partners, which is what is the first thing we start to do, even while we're in a relationship, or when we break up and look back on the relationship, we blame and we're like, this person created insecurity for me because of this and that. If you're a guy, you'll be like, well, my girl was hanging out with too many other guys, had too many guy friends, or wasn't showing me enough love, or there's endless number of things that we can kind of like go back to and be like, well, it's because of this and this and this, you know. And then for girls, it's the same thing. They'll be like, well, I didn't feel secure with my guy. He broke up with me so many times, or he would never say I love you, or he would never show me signs that, you know. So there's this tendency to blame insecurity in relationships on one or both people not being committed enough. That's like a common thing. There's a fear of commitment. So, you know, I didn't feel like my partner was committed to me. And as a result, I felt insecure. And, you know, like I said, this is a huge topic, and it's such an important topic. I think it's one of the most, if not the most important subject that we should all be discussing and learning and sharing information about regarding our modern day relationships in this day and age. Insecurity in relationships. Okay? So many other factors come into this: trust, you know. But I believe the biggest factor of all is not having enough self-focus, self-love, that self-attention, that ability to have your own life and generate your own happiness, your own confidence. As I say in a lot of my videos, great relationships should not be two people searching for each other, and then when they find each other, they become happy. No, great relationships should be two people who are on their own life journey, their own quest, their own journey of self-improvement, constant self-improvement, continuous improvement, where they're constantly strengthening themselves in body, mind, and beyond. And then they find each other on the same road. So I will be going to, let's say, my jiu-jitsu, or to the same restaurants, or I'm in a particular town, and I have gravitated to these sports, these activities, these environments out of my own drive, my own interests in life. And I'm going to meet someone in those environments, in those activities, and I'm going to find that I'm going to be running parallel with some of those people, and that's how great relationships are, you know, found and nurtured and maintained. You know, when people, excuse me, I've had a bit of a cold for the past couple of days, so I might be sniffling. I hope it's not annoying, but anyway, so that's an ideal relationship, in my opinion, and it stems from your relationship with yourself. Your relationship with yourself has to come first. Unfortunately, 95% of relationships out there are about, I will be happy when I'm in a relationship. In fact, I started coaching someone just today, and we were talking about this, and this person has been suffering extremely for a while now, for about a year. And the main thought that I'm seeing come up with this person is that, you know, I will be happy when I'm with someone, okay, which is an extremely common thought, and I see this so often, okay, and it's absolutely natural, and there's nothing wrong with this thought. It's not an incorrect thought. It comes from truth. There's a lot of truth in this. We are biologically geared, instinctually geared to find a mate, you know, so there's truth in it. But for this thought to be the main thing and focus in life is incorrect. Balance is important, and also knowledge and wisdom and awareness that we're living in a society today that you don't need to be with someone to be happy. Okay, the truest, most real happiness of all is going to come from your relationship within yourself. As I have been telling my client, that she thinks that people who are in happy marriages and relationships, and you know, are so happy, and you know, and she's so alone and sad. Most people who are in relationships are not happy. You know, like most people who are married will tell you, don't get married, stay single. Okay? For a reason they'll tell you that. And I'm not trying to say that if you're in relationships that's a bad thing either. All I'm trying to say is that it's not about whether you're in a relationship or single. Those things don't matter. Those things aren't the source of happiness. Happiness is all about your relationship with yourself. You can be happy single, you can be happy with a partner, you can be happy in an open relationship, you can be happy in any type of situation. Happiness is all about being at peace, being grateful, being, appreciative of what you have, and keeping your wanting under control, not comparing yourself too much with what other people have, not comparing where you are with where you think you should be. And by the way, where we think we should be, the majority of that comes from our society, from movies, from TV shows, from magazines telling us, hey, this is happiness. So everyone should be aiming for this type of life in order to be happy, which is just nonsense, okay? You can define your own happiness, your own life. But without getting too sidetracked, I want to come back to insecurity. Insecurity, the number one reason I'm seeing people break up, also was the reason for my breakup, was insecurities between me and my ex. We both generated greater and greater insecurity towards each other, and our insecurities fed off each other until the relationship just was destroyed from within. So really, this video does not have to be too long, because the quick answer is that when you are happy with yourself, then you're going to minimize the amount of insecurity that you leak into your relationship. When you're happy with your life, with your hobbies, with your goals, with the things that you do, with your diet, with the activities that you do, when you're happy with all of those things, there's no reason for you to feel threatened by someone else leaving you. Okay, and that's really what the source of our insecurity is with relationships, is we feel we're going to lose our partner. We feel that if our partner is talking to the opposite sex, that they're going to be attracted to them and they're going to leave us, okay? We feel that if we're not told that, by someone else that, we're loved, or we're not shown that we're loved, that there's a chance that this person will leave us. That's the core of insecurity, is feeling like this is not something that we're able to trust, as a long-term thing. Now, we have every right to feel that way, because a relationship, especially for those of us who are getting into a more serious relationship, is about family, it's about children, it's about creating a stable home for those children, creating a stable home not only for each other to energize and be there to support each other throughout our lives as long as we can, but also to create that setting, that space of security, of love, of providing support and energy for a family that we intend to build with our partner. So it's completely natural that we have fears when we are in a relationship, okay? What I talked about at the beginning regarding, your self-love, your self-focus, and your self-wholeness that you have to be focused on whether you're in a relationship or single. Those things are a must. And if there are two people who are looking after their health, taking care of their mental and physical health, in other words, taking care of their self-love, it's very likely they're going to reduce the amount of insecurity in the relationship. So that is the number one remedy for reducing insecurity in a relationship, in my opinion, is to look after your own physical, mental, emotional health. Because when you are happy and healthy, you're going to enjoy life more. And when you're enjoying life and you're happier and you're healthy, your partner is going to be attracted to you more. And you're going to be more attracted to each other. Okay? But we have this tendency of letting go of all these things, as soon as we find a mate. As soon as we find someone, we're like, oh, I don't have to worry about my health anymore. I don't have to worry about my mental health anymore. I don't have to worry about anything anymore. I have found my mate. And this is the beginning of a lot of problems for relationships. No, whether you find your ideal soulmate, the person that you're physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually attracted to or not, when you find this person, it doesn't mean that you've got to stop all the work that you've been doing that got you this person in the first place. Okay, so our life work is our continuous improvement in life is an endless journey from birth till death. And if you are not on this journey and you're watching these videos and you're beginning your journey of continuous improvement, of self-empowerment and self-love, it's important and critical that you remember that if you find the perfect person for you, or the perfect job, or the perfect house, that you continue to always stay on this. This is our way of life. This is our way of life. This is an important way of life that will keep us happy and healthy. Okay, so my personal belief is that this is the number one remedy for preventing insecurity from leaking in your relationship. And if you've broken up before because of insecurity and you're trying to get your ex back, this again should be your focus. Focusing on your goals, on your journey, on creating that relationship with yourself, that self-love with yourself. Okay? But having said all of that, again, it's balance. We can't be in a relationship and just completely consumed with ourselves and not invest any trust and not have any expectations from our partner. No, a relationship is a team as well. I say often in my videos that you don't ever want to give more than 60% of your self-love to someone else. Keep 50%, keep 60%, then invest as much else as you want into your partner. But remember, if you invest, there's so many people that will say, my partner is my life, my everything. Well, what happens when that person leaves? And when you are so dependent on this person for happiness, it's unfair on them, okay? It's not only unfair and it's way unrealistic, but it's unattractive as well. Imagine if someone is constantly looking to you for happiness and power and strength and energy. It's draining. We all need to be providing energy ourselves. We all need to be our own energy generators. And that's what makes a great relationship awesome, is when there's two people and they're generating energy within themselves and then they're sharing it. And they're sharing it into a family. Okay, and then they teach their children how to generate energy and to share it. That's the correct way for human beings to be living in a healthy way. Rather than people who are alone, lonely, and lacking, and kind of swimming around, and then they find each other and they believe that they can help each other, but really what they start to do is they start to take and, oh, it's not working, so then there's insecurity, and then they're like, well, I'm going to go and make you jealous by talking to these people, and then, oh yeah, well, I'm going to go and make you jealous by doing these things, and then it's like, no, come back, I want you, yeah, I kind of want you, but no, I'm going to, and then when you come back, then this one's like, oh, she's back, or he's back, I'm not interested, I'll go back here, and then they're like, oh, I'll go back here, and I'll try to make you jealous again, and then, oh, come back, don't leave me. So that's toxic. It's a toxic relationship, and this entire process is just going to break and make you more empty, make you more depressed, ruin you more. Whereas when you are in a relationship like that and you do separate, now is the time to find that strength again, reconnect with yourself, and start to build. And no contact is one of the greatest tools and tests of how much self-love you have. And that feeling of like, oh, I'm so empty and alone and I can't live without this person is an indicator of how much we lack our own self-love and self-focus. So don't be afraid of that if you feel like you're so lacking in self-love and so lacking. Don't be afraid of that. Most of us are. 90% of us are. Most people are in relationships that are toxic and they're together to not have those emptiness feelings. They're together to avoid that. And that should not be a reason to be in a relationship. Okay? So if you have broken up, look at it as an incredible opportunity to wipe the slate clean. You've got a blank canvas. And if you've had a horrible, really brutal, tough breakup, even luckier for you because you've wiped the slate clean completely and you get to build now from scratch. And you can build your life around foundation of wholeness, of self-love. And I tell you, when you get that to about 50, 60%, you're going to start feeling so strong, so confident, and you're going to realize that this is true happiness. And you're going to appreciate it so much so that even if you meet the hottest person that has any sort of toxicity or insecurity, you're going to protect yourself more. You're going to be like, this isn't worth it. No matter how hot this person is and how attractive they are, I realize how long it's taken me to develop my self-love and my self-confidence and my self-esteem. And that feeling of that esteem and that wholeness, it's greater than anything else. And you're going to want to find someone else who has done the same amount of work as you or who is on the same journey as you. And there are plenty of people out there who are. Okay? So I've got to head to my jiu-jitsu class soon, so I've got to wrap this up, unfortunately, but I do have a lot more to say. What I will wrap up for now is I want to say that there's nothing wrong to have expectations from your partner. There's nothing wrong to, your partner should be providing trust, confidence and security for you. But hey, not just the guy providing it for girls. Remember, ladies, now things are equal. It's not the way it was 50 years ago, 40 years ago. So women have to also provide that security for guys. So we have to tell each other, come clean with each other and just say, look, you're the one for me. Sure, I might check out other girls every now and then. I'm just looking. It doesn't mean that I want them. Or, vice versa. If girls want to hang out with guy friends or whatever, all relationships are different. There's no right or wrong. If you don't like your girl or your guy doing those things, and they're willing to stop that for you, that's freaking incredible. That's amazing. That's an awesome relationship, in my opinion. Okay, when people are willing to do things for each other, to provide that secure, when people are able to understand and respect each other, it's wonderful. It's awesome. But if someone's like, no, I want to still hang, if there's a girl who wants to hang around with her guy friends, blah, blah, etc., or a guy who wants to, just naturally check out girls or whatever it is, okay, these are just lazy examples I'm throwing out, but whatever it is, if those things are going to continue to happen, then there has to be this reassurance going on that, hey, you're the one that I love. You're the one for me. And sure, if I'm hanging out with other people or doing all these other things that make you feel insecure, then I want to remind you that you're the one for me, and I love you, etc., etc. But having said all of that, the point that I brought up at the beginning of this video of taking care of your health, not investing too much of your happiness and expectations in someone else to provide those things for you, is the most important thing of all, okay? But balance. You don't want to be alone in your relationship focusing on you. No, that the point of a relationship is, when you can be yourself with someone else, when you can share with someone else, when you can tell them, hey, I don't like it when you go off and have dinner with a guy, that makes me feel insecure. Communicating to our partners is important. And if you don't feel you can communicate with your partner, I mean, I don't know, but to me, that doesn't seem like the best relationship. So perhaps you have to think more about who you're with and what type of relationship you want to be in. But there's no right or wrong relationship. We all come from different cultures, different backgrounds, different ways of thinking, and not all relationships are as open and as communicative, okay? And they don't need to be, all right? They don't need to be, all right? I'm a believer in that, there shouldn't be one way of, this is right and this is wrong, okay? But I do believe that when you invest into your self-love, invest into what your goals are, your hobbies are, what your loves are, and taking care of your health, mental health, your physical health, that you're going to only improve the quality of your relationship, and you're going to be more attractive to your partner, and you're going to share energy with that person, okay? To be continued. This is a big conversation. This is a big topic. But yeah, we both have to provide that security to each other. It's not only the guy's responsibility anymore. Look, we live in a world where things are becoming more equal. So the ladies also have to help their men feel more secure. Okay? All right, so that's it for now. I'm going to go do some training, and I'll make another video on insecurity someday. All right. Sending you all out there the best, and love yourselves. Yeah, put that attention. Remember, attention is power. Our attention can be placed on thoughts. Attention is different to our thoughts. So put your attention, your awareness, on to things that you want to power up. Okay, if your attention is on thoughts of your ex, you're going to power them up. If your attention is on negative thoughts, you're going to make negative thoughts more powerful in your life. If your attention is on positive thoughts, you're going to make positive thoughts more powerful in your life. If your attention is on yourself, as people who meditate and they breathe and they put their attention on their breath and where they are and their presence, they power themselves up. Okay? All right. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.